and welcome to part 6 of the How Do You Network on LinkedIn series. We're talking about reaching out, and here's a couple of more ways you can reach out on LinkedIn. So you could invite your connections or someone in your network to an event. You could send them a message to invite them, or you could use the event feature. So if you run events or you're attending an event that you've said you're going on LinkedIn through the events feature, which is fairly new, you could invite your network to that event. So if you're running an event and you've set up the event, you can do this both on mobile and desktop. You hit the invite and go through your connections. You can use filters. So if you wanted to filter down to your connections in Perth or your connections in a particular industry, then you just use the filters and then go through the list and tick the people that you'd like to invite, and off you go. So that's doing it through the function. But then if you're wanting to individually invite someone to an event, you might message them. You might use some of the other tips I've just shared about using audio messaging or a video message to invite someone to an event. So that's inviting them to an event, inviting them to something. Next one is, in terms of reaching out, is introducing someone. So introducing connections to each other. So you might be talking to someone and they need some help. They need a copywriter, they need a web developer, they need a caterer, and you happen to know someone who you recommend and you would endorse, then you can introduce them. Now, there's a couple of ways to do it. You could do it in private messaging and bring them in. So you could even just mention the person. You could share the person's profile with them, or you could do a message and invite both the people into the message and introduce that way. So that's an easy way of doing it. And then the public way of doing it is in a post. If you're replying to someone's content, say they were looking for some help, you could mention a person and bring them into the conversation. So introducing them that way. So that's 2 ways of doing it, publicly and privately. And it all depends on the scenario and obviously the relationship you have with the person. So there you go. Some more reaching out tips on LinkedIn to help you build better relationships and network on LinkedIn.